How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yay.
I pretty low key, easy weekend.
Easter.
Back
It was
to
Easter.
it was
It
Easter. It
was
was
Easter.
Easter. That's true. Tells you how
But
much
who
I
knew?
celebrate. I'm like, yeah, who was?
It's Easter. Woohoo. So what we want to talk to you today, guys, about is nothing really. We just want to muse on Monday, kind of like get started with the week, tell you what's new, what's happening, discuss different topics, kind of like movies and series and stuff. So if you guys want to join us, viralconnectivity.com/live right below. Oh, and here you go. Here you go again. We are frozen. Yeah, here you are.
Did you get
Okay,
dropped? Did you
awesome.
get dropped? What's happening? Are we all right?
We're having a bowel movement. Um,
Wow.
so
Goodness
if you
gracious.
want to join us, viralconnectivity.com/live, you can hop on in and and see Paul freezes in real time. Yeah, we are live. So let us tell you what is happening today. There you go. I know, right? You're freezing in real time.
That'll be my game today. Is can I fool you in between when I'm really frozen and when I'm not really frozen?
Or you're just like staring at the screen.
Yeah. Make it
You're like, are you
thoughtful.
there? Are you there yet? Are you there yet? Cheers. There you go. And I should just be like, "Poof," and you look move. So let
You
us.
know what happened this weekend?
What happened this
So this
weekend?
weekend, I decided, I'm like, I've been working, I'm hard. I'm like, I'm gonna just relax a little bit. So I had a little bit of like media binge time this weekend, and
Yeah.
I watched this movie on Netflix called The Platform. Have you heard of this?
I have never heard of it until you
It's a
told me
foreign
to look it
film.
up. And you told me you're going
The
to look at it.
Platform.
The platform. This is it, guys.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this platform? Because I haven't heard of it. Paul has been watching it. So have you heard of it? Let us know. So what is it?
Mixed
Yeah.
mixed response. Conceptually, at first, I thought it was cool. The way it played out, not so cool. So it's a big, as many movies are, it was a big metaphor, right? So this guy goes into what appears to be almost like a prison, but you can't tell if it is or not. And he's in what amounts to a cell, and he has a cellmate. And once a day, the room is rectangular with a rectangular hole in the center of the room, and you can see down to the other levels. There's only like one room per level, and you can see down to the other, and you can see up to the other people that are above you or below
Right.
you. And once a day, this platform comes down through the hole above you and stops, and it's covered in food. And
Okay.
you get like, they don't ever say how long it is, but let's say it's like 40 seconds. You get to eat for 40 seconds, and you can eat all you want for 40 seconds, and then it moves down to the next level. And so, what you find out is, well, if you're in the first, I mean, and there's like wine and beautiful pastries, and but like that's all good if you're in the first few levels, but by the time it gets 50 levels down, it's all smashed up and people have been crushing it with their hands, and so it's a representation of trickle down economics, right? Like
Okay,
it's this
thank
idea
yeah.
of how things trickle down. And so if you're the poor person, literally, who's on like level 200, by the
Right.
time the platform gets to you, it's empty. There's nothing but the glassware and the plates and stuff.
Right.
And so this guy goes in willingly. He goes in because he wants to quit smoking, and he feels like it'll be a good way to quit smoking. And somehow they never explain why this, but they work out a deal where if he goes for 6 months, when he gets out, they'll just give him a degree. He can just have one.
Okay.
So again, I think that's a metaphorical, like what you go through, right? You enter this
Together.
economic model that we live in so you can eat and so that you can have a degree and stuff like that. So then every month he gets moved to a different level,
Okay. Okay. So
right? So
does
you
it
get
start on the
30
bottom and then
days.
goes up?
You never know. It's completely random.
Okay.
So his first month, he's on level like 32, and it's not so bad.
Okay.
But then the next month he's on like 70 something and it's quite a bit worse. And then he's on like level 6 and it's awesome. And then he's on like level 200 and it's terrible.
How many
And
levels?
so so this is a whole like, so like that idea is kind of a cool, but then it was like really violent and gory because I think they wanted to bring the savagery of people, you know, like, and I was like, by the end I was like, nah.
So wait a
that's
second.
what I
So
watched
they're on. You're in a cell with another person, right?
Yeah.
So
Because
how
then
is
what they
it
wanted-
savory?
What happens if you're at level 200 and the platform keeps coming down and there's no food, but there's another cellmate, and so
You
do
start
get
eating
to
the
point-
cellmate.
Yeah, do you get? That's what they bring up. Like, do you get to the point where you kill your cellmate and eat them? Like, you know, they're how far
But
does
wait a
our
second.
savagery go?
The rooms are around the platform, and then everybody runs in at the same time. Because like if you're in a cell with someone, how do you get to? Like, why would you fight on?
So imagine it's like a rectangular box with a rectangular hole in the middle.
Okay.
It's stacked up like a 200 floor skyscraper.
Okay.
And the food platform goes down through all of them every day. And at the end of the day, it zooms back up to the top and it gets refilled the next morning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
So you and your roommate, when that thing comes down to your level, it stops, and you and your cellmate get to eat all you can for the like 30 seconds it's there, and then it leaves, and you're done.
so
And it goes
okay.
down.
But what I don't get is so everybody is on in a little room, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the platform goes down.
Yeah.
And it opens, and it opens the door so you can get it, you can grab whatever food, but does it open at the same time for everybody else?
No, it's literally, it doesn't even have a door. It's just a platform. It's a concrete rectangle that somehow has magnetic engineering or something, and it just comes down and it stops, and all the food is sitting on top of it.
So
And
this one, right? So like
right
this.
there, yeah, that's it.
But
Yep.
but how do you get out of the cell to get onto this platform?
You
to eat?
don't. It comes down into your cell. Imagine a hole in the top of your cell and a hole in the floor of your cell. And it comes down and it's the same size as the hole. So it comes down and when it stops, it's like it fills the hole and you can walk up to it and just get what you
Okay,
need.
so the violent and the gore is only between you and your cellmate. It's not between
Well,
everybody
it
else.
could be, you could try in theory, like you could try to go down to the next level down and like
switch cells and stuff like that.
yeah, you can try stuff like that. So it gets crazy with stuff like that.
Gotcha. And there was
This
a
is
picture.
strange.
But you know, it is very interesting when like someone from the top all of a sudden comes down to the bottom, right? And loses the privileges. I mean, that will be very, or someone from the bottom gets to the top. Do you think it makes people feel like, hey, you know, everybody should get a fair share of the food and everybody should get fair share of our resources?
That was the part that was cool, right? Is they did what we all would think about. So like the guy, he's an idealist, right? The main character.
Right.
So he tries to reason with the people above and below him that first month. And he's like, look, if you ration what you eat,
Right.
and if everyone is on like the honor system and you ration what you eat, we can make it go all the way down and everyone will be okay. There's enough for everyone.
Right.
And of course, those people are like telling him to go screw himself and they're chucking him to burn. And, you know,
So this is, so in a way, is this kind of like promoting socialism, communism, kind of like, hey, we're all, you know,
I don't think it was promoting,
but kind of like, look at the nice sides of.
It was looking at like, so like, what do people do, right? There's people who try to be that rational idealist and tell other people like, look, there's enough to go around if we all would just be good to each other. But when you're left to other people being in fear mode, those people who for 1 month had to be on level 100 and now they're up on 12 and they're like, you don't know what it was like. I was there and I'm never going back again.
But you might go back. You never know, right?
Right.
That's the weird part about people, right? It's kind of like, oh, I was there, so now I'm going to take my share. And I was like, yeah, you can go back there and it'll be sucky for you as well if you're not going to change it for other people. It's very interesting. It is.
It was not, let's just say if you decide to watch it, it was not an uplifting story.
Humanity sucks. I mean, if we needed, an example of how much we suck, we got the corona, right? Like we're just not the best, not the best. I mean, just look at what the toilet paper won after the corona, right? Like, and we're not even dead yet, and everybody has access to everything. And, you're punching old people on your way out to the registry. So, yeah. Speaking of punching your way out, one of the guys that is not punching his way out, but making fun of all that stuff is, not this one, is JP Sears. So if you guys know him, JP Sears, he's going to be with us this Thursday, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and you guys can come and talk to him. So I'm going to play a little video just to show you what's coming Thursday. So hopefully you hop in and you have a conversation with us. So let's see. I don't know why, Tantata. Hold on. We're going to make sure that you guys hear this. Da-da-da.
Hey, I'm JPC.
Ta-da!
A lot of switching.
It's a lot of switching.
Hey, I'm JP Sears, and I am very excited to share with you that I will be the guest on the I'm That Geek show.
Do you want me to just do his voice?
16th.
No,
Please
they hear
tune
you.
in. I can't wait.
You just play it, and I'll do his voice.
How I use YouTube
So
to
those who are
start
watching us,
and
you're now
grow
talking
my
over
stand-up
JP
comedy
Sears.
business and all aspects of my business. Really, it should be a rich, robust, entertaining, and informative conversation. I can't wait. Please tune in, and I will see you there.
So, Paul, you and I are the only one who are not hearing it. Everybody else did hear it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that it wasn't working, so that I wasn't
No,
trying to be
no. It was working well. Those who have watched it, you can tell us. Did you hear it? Let us know.
Did you? Yeah. All
Did you
right.
hear it? You should have heard it. I know, it's very weird.
Everyone else, but not us. This is another shortcoming of software. That seems unfair.
Production. So if you guys want to hop in and actually talk to JP in real life, then imthatgeek.com/RSVP is where you can get notified when we go live. So you hop in and you have a conversation with JP and me and Paul in real time. And what we're going to talk about is how he used YouTube to build his comedy business. Talk about the ideas and how he produces them and how he comes up with ideas and how he shares them and what it's like to grow a channel and how to take the online views that he's getting to fuel his offline business. So if you're into that, hop on in and talk to us.
That's cool.
Why do I think so? And so that was one show that you talked about. And then there was another show on Amazon called Tales from the Loop.
Tales from the Loop. So what an interesting weekend of diversity in programming I experienced. Tales from the Loop is this new show on Amazon that is inspired by the paintings of an artist that I'm unfamiliar with, but apparently the people who created this show, can you switch it?
Yeah, to which one?
There you go.
This one?
So, I guess the look of the show is inspired by the paintings of a certain artist. And so this show, I got to tell you, as a former English teacher, I really liked this show. If you're looking for something different right now, if you're like, man, I need something different, this is it. This show, it's like each episode is a short story, but where there's crossover between the short stories. Like you see characters from one episode in another episode repeatedly, but it's not one central story arc that's going through the series. It's just each episode sort of is its own thing. And it's about all these people that live in a town in Ohio, and like everyone in the town practically works for what is the equivalent of CERN, the underground collider. It's like a version of that, but in this show it's back in like the 70s.
Okay.
And so the look of it, everyone's clothes and the technology is older, and it's just a very different feel. And I just really like the stories. The stories, it feels when you're watching it, for me, it feels the way you feel when you're reading a short story. It's
So,
really,
but it's
I
not
don't know how else
horror,
to
is
describe
it? It's not horror.
Huh?
It's not horror. Horror.
No, it's
Because I'm reading some of the synopsis of some of the episodes, and it's like a young girl goes, where'd she go? A young girl goes
So-
on some tour and stuff like that, and I was like, something's
It's-
gonna happen.
so it's like, technically it's sci-fi because everything seems to connect to technology that's created at this science site. There's
Gotcha.
always a technology thing,
Yeah.
but it's really about the people. It's about what these people do and the choices they make because of the experiences that. So I'll give you one little hint. So this one episode, there's these two high school boys, and they're like best friends.
Okay.
And one is tall and athletic, but not real smart, and the other one is short and kind of nerdy, but he's got good grades. And so they're like yin and yang, you know, they're
Right,
like
right.
an odd couple, sort of.
Right.
And so they're out walking one day, and they're walking in the woods, and they find this sphere that looks almost like a mine, an ocean mine, you know, that would blow up something.
Yep.
Or a buoy, but and it has a hatch. And the one boy climbs in, and when he climbs in, whatever it is, it switches their consciousness with each other.
Don't
Right?
tell the end. Don't tell the end. I'm gonna watch
I won't
it.
tell you the end. So it freaks them out at first.
Yeah.
Then they do it again and it swaps back.
Yeah.
And then they know, okay, we can swap back. So then they're like, do you want to do it again? And he's like, why? And he goes, I could be you for a day and you could be me for a day. And so they do it
Yeah.
again on purpose to see what that's like. And then it sort of goes down a dark path from there. And so again, it's not just the novelty of that idea. They do a great job of looking at like how human beings work and how we make choices, you know. And I don't know, I really like this show. I think it's really, really cool. Tales from the Loop.
Tales from the Loop. So on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And now you know where Paul's money goes to. Netflix, Amazon Prime. Where his time goes to. So while we're talking about movies and series, have you watched Bloodshot with Vin Diesel?
No.
So
That's like a fantasy movie, right?
yes, but it is so awesome because have you, what was it lately that it was an experiment where they showed that they can change memories in mice, which to me is like, so genetically do that. So genetically you can come in and genetically change the memories in a body. And so what's weird to me is first, I didn't know that memories and genes go together, like the effect of a gene on a memory. I thought it was like, you know, electrical pulses in the brain that kind of create the
Right.
memory. But that's a real life, like you should look it up. It's a real experiment where they genetically with CRISP, which is the new way of
CRISPR, yeah.
CRISPR,
Yeah.
new way of like modifying, right? So they use that to change memories. And so what the movie is talking about is what if you controls a person's memories and he wakes up and he thinks that he is this person, right? Like, so Vin Diesel wakes up and in his mind, someone came in and killed his wife. And now he has to go in and avenge her. And I'm not going to tell the whole story, but it's like fascinating. It's really, really, really fascinating. And what's really fascinating to me around that is that what if, you know, like if there are good people that kind of like go like, okay, this is not nice. Don't mess with person's memories in action, right? Like not cool. If there's not that one person that goes in and go like, this is not right, you're fucked, right? Like someone can just be playing your stories over and over again. And you're like, what can I do?
So that happens a lot actually in my hypnotism world. I get approached by people pretty regularly who reach out to me and they want me to use hypnosis to take away their memory of a partner,
Yeah.
you know, a breakup that they had, or they have a traumatic experience in their lives that they want to have totally erased from their memory.
Yep.
And so that's and almost all of my colleagues get those requests from people as well. It's a constant sort of revisiting theme that we have to deal with people, where we have to keep saying to people, look, it would be really unethical of me to do that. It's not my place to change your memories, even if you want me to. But what I can do is help you think differently about your memories and change the way you think about them, so you don't just focus on the bad part, but you see it as part of your growth and evolution as a human being. And that's always sort of my standard response to people. It's an interesting thing about the culture we live in, where what people tend to do is they just want the equivalent of popping a pill, though, right? Where they're like, no, I just want to be able to get rid of it.
Why is it not ethical for you if I come to you and I say, I don't want to remember this anymore? Why is it unethical for you to?
Because you can't guarantee a perfect adaptation of their memory. Like memory is really weird. Memory is really tricky. And so it's one of those agreed on things in our industry, in our profession, that like you just don't do that. You don't go in and so like it's even like in some states forensic hypnosis is still admissible in court, where if like somebody got in an accident, like a hit and run, in some states you can the detective handling their case can send them to a hypnotist who can do hypnotic regression, and you can have them refocus. Like when you get in an accident, you just get like freaked out, right? But there's information all around you that maybe you just weren't paying attention to, but you did absorb it, like a license plate number or the face of the person driving the car. And so in hypnosis, you can go back in and sort of manipulate their focus and help them find that other information. But you also can create memories that aren't even real while you're doing it. Like if you make a mistake in how you go through the process, you can cause the person to generate a false memory. And so anytime you're working with memory, you risk potentially generating a false memory. And so that is considered like, it would be unethical to risk doing that with people potentially. And so there are circumstances in which it will be done and we will help people recover memories, but there's a very specific way that it has to be done and you have to be really careful with it. So generally it's considered unethical because it's almost like what you're doing is you're saying, imagine if you came to me and said, Paul, I want you to create a lie for me that's so powerful that I believe it for the rest of my life.
And isn't that kind of like, what do you call that? The visioning, like I'm envisioning myself being that person and I keep repeat it until it becomes like my life, the way I'm doing it, right?
So I guess you could argue that. That's not the way I think of it, but because then that's you saying, I want to grow and evolve in this direction and become this person.
Yeah.
Right? You're striving or aspiring to become something. And, like whether that's you're going to go earn a degree and become a veterinarian or a lawyer, or you're not a lawyer right now, but you're going to go put in the work and, everything I do is to become a lawyer or a veterinarian or whatever, where I don't know. It's a lot to discuss.
Okay. So you believe a lie, right? You say like, what if I tell you a lie and you believe a lie? Well, as young people, right, we are very much influenced by what our parents and our peers tell us. So what if my parent tell me a lie and I believe that lie, right? And that defines my identity and my memories and my behavior and all that stuff. Isn't that kind of like suggestions in hypnosis where you can
Absolutely. And it would be unethical. But that's where the weird thing about ethics are often debatable. Like what generally we say is morals are not supposed to be debatable, but ethics are.
Okay.
Right. So that's one of those things where I can say that something is unethical and you can make a case that you don't think it is, and we can even agree to disagree on it. So that's kind of what is actually happening right here is, you can talk about it forever. Eventually people have to define their ethics for themselves, I guess. But
yeah. So Alex is here. Alex, hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Good to see
good.
you. Yay.
Good to see you.
So you were asking, is it ethical? Would it be ethical if one could change their memories themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Paul?
Again, that's such a fascinating question, because you think, how could it be unethical if you're choosing it yourself and the outcome is for you, right? Mm-hmm. So like that'd be like saying, is it ethical of me to choose to shave my goatee off and change my appearance? Like I guess you can make whatever you want that impacts you if you believe it's the right thing for you, So I guess you could learn how to do that. I don't know. It's a really interesting.
But isn't that what you're teaching people is how to self-hypnotize? So if I know how to self-hypnotize myself, then I can go in and change my memories however I want to change them.
Well, but we don't actively teach memory changing to people. When we teach people self-hypnosis, we're teaching it for them to manage their stress or to not smoke anymore or to manage their chronic pain. We're not I don't know of anyone who's ever taught someone self-hypnosis as a tool for going in and just changing their memories. Again, the standard thing I've always said, and that all the peers I have in the profession say, is like, look, your memories, your experiences, even the bad ones, they're part of what make you who you are. So don't try to just get rid of them or change them. Like, just make the effort to understand them better and have a more adaptive response to that experience instead of a maladaptive response.
Well, what about PTSD?
Same thing.
And trauma
PTSD,
and all that stuff, right?
When people have a traumatic, that's a great example. When people have a traumatic experience, not everyone gets PTSD. Some people get post-traumatic growth syndrome. Some people, when they have a traumatic experience, they actually experience amazing, positive kinds of growth. So again, adaptive versus maladaptive. What we want to support people in is being the healthiest, happiest version of themselves that they can be. And if they happen to form a PTSD response, we want to help them evolve that and redirect that and change that.
Yeah, I can see that. Alex, want to jump in?
No, I was just curious because I have a tendency to write over memories that I don't like. I figured out a way to do it, and I do it all the time. And I don't change the memory. I simply write over it like on a tape over and over and over and over and over again until there's so many layers of other memories on top of it that's not the first response. It's very effective for me. Very effective.
I like that.
So see, the thing that Alex just said, though, that I think is really smart is the response. Like, when you work to achieve a different response, to me, that's you coaching yourself toward a healthier, more positive way of dealing with what the thing is, rather than just trying to, what often happens with the clients I was talking about, well, they're not end up being the clients, the people who want to be clients, is they're not trying to do any of that. They're just basically saying, can you just take it away? Like, it never happened. I don't think
can it work? Theoretically.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, you can never guarantee that it will stay away forever, but you can totally, like, when I do my stage shows and I hypnotize people on stage, one of the ways I start working them into a deeper hypnotic state and assessing who it's working for is I temporarily during a show will make people forget their own first name. So you think about what an important identity marker that is. Like, if you can get someone to forget their own first name, they're pretty well hypnotized. Now we always bring it back, and I actively leverage it to help them understand that they're doing great with hypnosis. Holy cow, look how great you're doing with hypnosis. And it builds more confidence in them, actually, right? And makes them feel like, yes, I can do hypnosis. And then they get even better responses during the show. So that's an example of where you can actually take something like that and make it functional temporarily. But yeah, when you do it, some of the people get what's called aphasia, where they actually can still see their name inside their mind. And so they know it, but they just can't say it. And then you get some people who truly can't see it, can't remember it, gone.
Interesting.
That is actually, that's very weird, right? Because even though I know that hypnosis is only just suggestions that I allow myself to, be suggested, it's still kind of weird to know that there is a person out there that can make the suggestions that will make you forget your name.
There's a lot of stuff like that. Our brains are pretty weird and fascinating all at the same time. Yeah,
that is true. And so if you guys are interested in seeing a way of messing with your mind and your brain, this is the movie for you. So we talked movies, how to binge, what to binge on, what's happening on Thursday with JP Piers that is coming on, and you guys can talk to him in real time. And this is the beginning of our week. Paul, what are you doing? You started your course this week, Paul, right?
I started my mentorship program this week that I had built. And that's really cool. I'm excited about that. Still doing stuff from my world online wellness conference.
Yep.
Still keeping that going and trying to help people manage their stress and stuff. This week, we're specifically talking with our members about resourcefulness and resiliency. How do you develop resources to help you stay resilient in these challenging times? So I've got, thankfully, a whole group of expert coaches, hypnotists, you name it, that are on a panel for that this week. And I'm pretty excited about that. There's a lot of stuff, cool stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a full week. And I've been asked, you're like, why are you laughing? It is a full week. You have a lot to do this week. You're like, no, it's a short week. It's an empty week. So a lot of you have asked to learn how to use StreamYard to go live, engage, and build an audience. So if you are interested in taking that on, I'm putting on one-day training because it's really not that complicated. You're going to get the hands-on experience, setting it up, getting all your lower thirds and knowing how to bring people in and how to go live everywhere and all the jazz that you need to know with StreamYard. You're also going to get 30 topics that you can go for the next month and talk about them, because one of the hardest things that people feel is, what do I talk about? So you're going to have that, an entire list. You can pick and choose. And last thing, you're going to get a community to help you go live. So when you go live, you're not doing it by yourself. You can actually have other people join you, comment, like, share, so that all of us rise together, and the experience is a lot more entertaining and fun than you doing it by yourself and going like, is anybody listening? So if you're interested in that, comment below wherever you're seeing me and let me know why you want to learn StreamYard, and I'll let you know where to get that page once it's done. Hopefully this week. So the goal is to teach you that Monday. Hopefully we get there. Let me know if you're interested, and I'll make sure that you know when it is ready. That's it. Tomorrow we have a very interesting day. We will talk about something very interesting. I don't know what it is, but it will be fascinating and really good.
It will be. It will be.
It'll be very good.
It might change your life.
It will change your life. So you want to be there. We were talking about different things also, like between Paul and I. We were talking about, we did Google Docs. We're talking how businesses will use the internet to actually move from retail to digital. And so there are different nuances. One of them is you bringing your friend over. Actually, she will be a fantastic predecessor for JP's show, talking about how that one-time hit that she did on YouTube, how her video got millions of views, and now what's happening.
Oh yeah, we got to try to get her locked in. We got to try to get her.
Let's lock her in.
I'll reach out to her today.
Yeah, you heard it here first. He's gonna reach to her today first. You heard it here. So happening tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific, right here. viralconnectivity.com/live. Alex, thank you so much for hopping in and saying hi. That was great seeing you.
I appreciate it.
And that's it, guys. Have a fantastic Monday. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.